Welcome to Kim Talks Books. I'm Kim Hayden, your host. As we step into the quiet spaces between the lines, focusing on the vibrant author's journey, we'll explore the dedication, the inspiration, and the unique perspectives that these authors bring to their craft, offering listeners the profound reader's reward of discovering fresh narratives. So settle in because our literary adventure with tomorrow's acclaimed writers begins now. Designed specifically because of my relationship with NPS, and I saw there was a real need, especially for people bringing their kind of incredible, a lot of like legacy information, a lot of legacy thought forward. And that's why we've developed the show. So we will see, just watch for the emails to come because they'll have information as I progress through. And our biggest thing is around SEO and GEO. And because the reality is the interview is only the first step. You should have like another 10 or 15 days worth of content from a single 30-minute episode. And most people just aren't like, they don't understand kind of the distribution around that. And that's why we do the backlink over anything else because our SEO can help your SEO. All right.
Okay.
Awesome. So basically, I'm only going to have two questions. Tell me about your author's journey. The author's journey starts with when you started these books and why now is the point of putting them out. And then the reader's reward is what's in it for the reader. What are they going to get? And then we will succinctly close the show with because my background is I have nearly 40 years in trained sales in large corporations. We will actually close this out with when you read, fill in the blank. So your books, right? Hold on, I got it. Earth's Exodus. No, it's not Exodus. Somebody's dam. Exocide.
Yeah.
Ecos.
Which what it means is ecological suicide.
Okay. Earth's
Goes for
Mm.
Earth's ecological suicide, which we're experiencing right now.
Ecocide. Awesome. Nothing like a dystopian story or that is actually somewhat close to what we're doing. And I see the robots in the cover because I've got your one sheet here.
I looked at your bio, so I know a little bit about you.
Awesome.
You need that for now, but I know.
Awesome. So when you read, pick a book. You will learn or discover. You would be a great discover word as opposed to learn. You will discover so you can. So you can is the power here. So, for example, on my book, I have a couple multi-authors. I don't actually write on my own because that takes a lot of work, and I'll leave that up to you, the experts like you. Um, when you read Women in Business, you will learn how to understand that you are doing the best that you can so you can live a more fulfilled life because you know you're doing the best you can. That's kind of how to wrap it up. On your screen, can you pull your camera down just a bit? I got half a chin and or sit up a little bit higher. There we go. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
And by the way, I don't know what I read from about your bio and some other stuff. The human soul plays a big role in this 5-part novel series.
So it's a five novels because I saw 3.
It's
So you're working on the
only
next one?
3, but there's actually 5.
Okay.
And the human soul is threaded all through there. There's a spiritual part here.
Okay.
You want to go with it?
We're just talking about the book and what's in it for a reader for this show, which is Kim Talks Books. Is part of the Kim Talks series, which the resilience is in the series, but this is really about the author's journey and what is the reader's reward. And then we'll get that quote at the end, the 9 words, when you read, you will learn so you can. All right. So, sound good?
Yeah. And my author's journey should be what? 2 minutes or something, not a big long.
No, take your time. Tell me about your journey. How long is it taking you to read the build the books? What brought this on? Why is this important to you? And why now? So, yeah, this is really this show is really about your journey to bringing something to the public and what the public can get from it. All right? Excellent. All right, smile, dude. We're gonna have a good one. And I'm just increasing this screen so I can actually read it because I'm getting blind like that. Um, awesome. And here we go. All righty. Welcome back to Kim Talks Books. You know what? I love the Hunger Games. I love, the Terminator. I love all these things that show us what could the future look like. I have watched Ready Player One about a dozen times, and I know it's a kids' movie, but it's a movie that says if we don't get our act together, who knows? And we've got big things happening here. We've got big things happening here. We have robotics that by the end of this decade, you will start seeing humanoid robotics on graveyard shifts stocking grocery shelves. They're looking at making large scale employers, certain countries are looking at making large scale employers pay taxes on robot employees because we know the impact of what's going to come. So, when we look at what's going to come, and I always have this fascination of what's coming down the pipe, right? I love AI. It's opened up worlds for my dyslexic daughter and my dyslexic husband. It's opened up worlds for people like me who are so ADHD. It's a little scary. And now I can write 2, 3 proposals in a week and get all my thoughts out. It's just an amazing tool. But what is the flip side of that? And then also, what is the energy we're burning? How are we impacting our environment? How are we preserving the space we're on? So, who better to invite but David? David is going to give us his kind of view, what he's bringing to the world, and he's making it so it's bite-sized because let me tell you, there's a moral story and everything. Even the Wizard of Oz had an entire moral story to it. David, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
I'm excited because this is like I said, I've watched I in fact I just watched Ready Player One 2 weeks ago again. I introduced it to my grandson. He fell asleep. I watched the entire thing. I am fascinated by everything because I know I believe that from 2020 to 2040 will be the greatest evolution on this earth of how we live, work, and play, how society grows together. Um, and I believe it's going to set the foundation of where we go. Where is Earth going? Where are humans going? Would you say that that's kind of, and I'm not a robotics person, I'm not an AI specialist. This is just somebody who's watching a lot of stuff and watching a lot of YouTube and watching a lot of, information on it. Would you say that that's a little bit of that maybe
Oh,
I'm
no, that's
crazy?
very correct. Right now, if you look at my first novel, which is Earth's Exocide Hope 2147, we are almost finished with an LA screenplay. I'm co writing it with a LA screenwriter. We've got a movie producer. And once we get that set up, the movie producer will shop it around LA. And we are still the book was 2147, but at that date, the special effects were extremely expensive. So we put it back, and guess what the date is right now? 2047, which is exactly in your time frame.
Yes, it's coming. So let's talk about first of all, tell us the name of the 3 books within this 5-part trilogy. Can you give us those 3 books?
Sure. Well, the general premise of all three books is climate destruction, climate change, global warming, whatever you want to call it, and human discord, all the non cooperation and wars and all the things that we have. They are going to degrade human society. Meanwhile, AI is gaining strength and getting smarter, and we get artificial super intelligence, and we get digital agents, we get robotics, and everything else. And it sits there over the next, and you could pick the time frame, 50 years, 100 years. It watches, it learns, it gets smarter than us. It takes over the healthcare system for efficiency reasons. Then it takes over our financial system. Then it takes over our communication system. And then one day it looks up and it says, bio, uh, biological creatures are really not worth a lot. They can't stand the heat, and all of the heat domes that we're having right now, and a million other things. And so, in my third novel, which is Earth's Exocide Extinction, 3147, I am guessing it'll take 1,000 years. There's the last battle for humanity, and the robotic nation is called the Imperium, and there is a Darth Vader kind of guy in there. He's a robot, of course, and his name is Dorg, Dorg. And the problem is, unlike Darth Vader, which was biological and robotic, Dorg is a pure and super intelligent robot. So we can clone him. He can die and get blown up, and we'll have the next Dorg and the next Dorg and the next Dorg. Anyway, in the third novel, uh, humanity is defeated, and there are no living humans on Earth, and the Imperium controls the upside. The upside is Earth's biosphere, which includes land, ocean, and atmosphere. So that's the general theme. The human discord and climate destruction weaken human society, and AI eventually just takes over.
Will book 4 and 5 reintroduce humans?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Right on target.
they've saved the but hey, David, I love this stuff. Like I have watched the Matrix series so many times it's not even funny. It's like it's almost scary. I think Keanu Reeves maybe has me on a ban list. Just let you know. Like, oh, if Kim messages again, quick, running on. But I also had a huge crush on Keanu Reeves. So when we're looking at this, why now? Why do you think so? When did you start this series?
Well, the quick story on me goes back. My first degree was engineering, and my the course I liked the most was thermodynamics, which is the study of heat. And I had a professor that helped design the Gemini space capsule heat sheet.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it was, and it was very interesting back then. And then I got another degree, and then I went and got a PhD in a business school in operations. But I've always loved this little planet. All the little things. It's thousands of things. Like if we didn't have a moon the size we have, we wouldn't tilt the way we do, and seasons, and how are you going to have life if the North Pole becomes the equator every 6 months or whatever?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and what most people don't realize is since the Jurassic Age, before the Jurassic Age, the North Pole was at the equator. I live in Calgary, Alberta, and we have a museum here, an experiential space that actually shows the shift of the land masses and how the Earth has changed. And since in the 30 years I've lived in Canada, the magnetic pole has shifted an average of like 14 days a year. So it is shifty. And we know the Earth has cycles and that human beings and human consumption and in human like even just like the war when we are putting all these kind of toxins into our air and our earth just and our water systems and our water tables just I mean the toxicity of bombs in themselves, right? How do you then it's not like a forest fire, right? Mount St. Helens blew up and it's the most lush it's ever been. Took 40 years for it to come back, but it's gorgeous. We're talking about foreign elements, like man-made elements that are being crushed into the
For definitely changing the planet. And So just to keep going with my little scenario. So um, to pay the rent, I was a university professor at Duke, Ohio State, and the University of Virginia for 42 years.
Oh, wow.
I have a college textbook that still sells, and I've always had a creative flair. And I wrote in 1985, for example, an article on the automation of services, and then I wrote a little book in 1985. What is the automation of services? Anyway, I've got a long history of all that. And then I retired, and I can only play so much golf, and you can only go out to dinner with your wife so much,
Yep, yep.
right? And drink a bottle of wine. And so I needed a hobby. And I will tell you, you have no concept how much I love this planet and humanity, the species, the whole species. And so started outlining two novels, and that was about 15 years ago. And I'm a very independent old 60s kid. So I didn't want to go with traditional publishing, which is probably a mistake, but I'm not going to send out 200 query letters and get it rejected. I'm going to go on and get it done. So that's the way I am. So anyway,
So you were ahead of the curve. You were ahead of the curve.
I'm independent publishing, but it's a struggle because I need 5 Davids and I only have one. Okay, and you have to have the core content, or you don't have anything.
Yep.
So anyway, I started writing on the first book, the second, and the third, and I've got 3 of them out. And then in February, we started on the LA screenplay for the first book. It's going to be a blockbuster. It's going to be right up there. Now, I know I'm biased, but it's going to be up there with Star Wars and Terminator. It's going to be right up there. And there's an orb, a little blue orb, in Kim, in all 5 novels. And I never say whether it's divine or whether it's a super alien or what. And I never will say what it is. But it comes to Earth to help save humanity. And that's in the first novel. And all of this takes place on a field of dreams kind of farmhouse in Kentucky. And we set up the screenplay so movie production costs would not be, 100 million and special effects. Anyway, so that's where I am now. I've got the fourth novel pretty well done, but I'm working on the screenplay and a lot of other things. And then you mentioned something that I want to go back to. Another theme in the novel series is the purpose of the universe is the development of the soul. And the reason we have physical planets and moons is the physical soul has to have a place to stay. And it stays in different bodies. It moves all around the universe, developing, getting better, improving. Maybe you could become a Plato or a Michelangelo or an Einstein. And I'm not talking just knowledge, I'm talking morals and values and stuff. So at the end of the third novel, all the humans on the earth die, but not their soul. And now they go in the fourth novel to another planet, the human souls, and they learn from the Serbians, a different species. Okay? It looks nothing like a human. I won't describe it to you, but it's got a tail. It's got a whole bunch of things. Okay?
Okay.
It's just what Hollywood probably doesn't want, but it's grounded in science, and the planet is tidally locked to its red star or dwarf star, and they learn how the Serbians protect each other and love each other and cooperate with each other, and then they also learn how to protect Siva, that's the planet's name, biosphere. And then in the fifth novel, this orb orchestrates they 90,000 human souls return to Earth to take their rightful place in the universe. You see, one of the themes is this this Imperium robotic nation and door, they don't have a soul. Only biological creatures like us, we have a soul. And so in the fifth novel, they're gonna shoot out of the sky and land. They're not gonna have a stitch of clothes on, but they'll be kneeled down and they're gonna raise their heads up and they're gonna take on the Imperial Robot Nation and they're gonna win, of course. So that's the 5 novel series.
And it's interesting because I think we're moving into a time we used to need more human beings to buy more stuff, but we're now moving into a time of more around we need uh uh it's more around ideation and creation, right? So we're moving into a time frame around ideation and creation. So if you look at the average 25-year-old, they're not doing cars. They're doing ride shares. They're doing public transit, right? When we look at like universities here in Calgary, like we're starting to look at alternatives to beef. They actually have been able to grow synthetic beef, like actual beef, ground chuck. You would be really pressed to even see the difference. So all of these things, I just think that we are in a time that's just fascinating, and and this gives such a unique perspective and hope. So you're moving into the fourth book, we start seeing the hope that's coming out. Am I correct in that? So
Yeah.
so I'm getting you, David. I'm getting you. Like I see the storyline here, and it's could either be a I always tell people I am an inspiring story or a cautionary guide, depending on what day and what moment you meet me. And I think that the books can actually be taken that way also, right? Um so tell me what's in it. So when we've talked about what the books are, what the messages are. What's the reader's reward? So they start these 3. When does the 4th one come out? And what's in it for the reader?
Uh, the 4th one will probably come out in '26. I've got so many opportunities to write the 2nd and 3rd screenplay or co-write it that, I don't know whether I'm gonna do the screenplay or actually get the 4th book out. So that's one of the things. What's in it for the reader? Well, basically, I'm trying to educate the reader because there is a science base to all 5 of my books. So if you're a sci-fi nut and you're into the techie side, it's in there, but I make it low key, and especially when then we get to Siva, which is a tidally locked planet. I have to explain a few things. Um, but you know, uh, what's in it is help educate the reader, help inspire and motivate them to become a champoid. And what a champoid is, I've trademarked that name, CHAMPOID, and I trademarked it. Okay, what it is it's a champion of the human species and Earth's biosphere. You can't if you think humanity is going to go extinct, then you want to fight and champion survival, and you can't champion survival unless you protect the hell out of the Earth's biosphere. We got to protect it. Uh, we don't have another home. We must protect our home. We can't put 8 or 10 million billion people on a take them off to another planet. So this is home. This is it. And we are much more special than people think on the spiritual side. We are so much more special as humanity, as people, than anybody would
Well,
even realize.
and I think that we have to start leading into that, especially where the discord within the world is. Everybody is so busy looking out them for themselves, they're not looking out for the community, and
Absolutely.
we cannot live in we are pack animals. And it was funny because I was reading a study the other day. Married men live 2 years longer on average and have lower rates of dementia, and married women live 2 years less and have higher rates of dementia. Just saying, folks. No. But we as a society need each other, and I think that that's really we need to start looking at what's going on, just like we put seatbelt laws in place, just like we put no drinking and driving laws in place. These are to protect society. We say that don't beat your children, don't abandon your elder parent, you know, d don't abuse an animal. These are all common kind of societal guides, whether or not you are in a formal religion or follow a faith or just kind of look at maybe even the 10 commandments. But I think a lot of what you're writing, David, is if we don't change, some of these things can actually happen.
If we do not change, we're gonna go extinct.
Yep.
And I guessed 1,000 years from now in my novel series, but I don't really know, and that's a guess. But it's gonna happen fast. It's happening right now. These 3 trends are converging. We got, tsunamis, we got heat domes, we got floods. I got a co-author on my college textbook in Cincinnati, and he's all upset because it's so hot in Cincinnati, he can't play golf.
Yep. Yep.
We got
And
sires, and
yeah.
and the ocean, depending on where you wanna go, the ocean's gone up, 5 centimeters, some places, almost a meter.
Well, they say for every degree we increase on the earth, we actually raise the ocean levels. We lose more land mass. So there's all these things. It's all a domino effect. I think these books are great. I am just so you know, I am more of a listener and watcher. I cannot wait to see the films. And what would be fascinating is with the new Google filmmaker how much you can do of it through AI. That would be fascinating. That would be fascinating. So, David, I'm gonna close the show out. I am so looking forward to
Thanks
this.
for having me.
But nope, we have our 9 words. You're gonna close the show out and close us out strong. You'll repeat these 9 words and you'll fill in the blanks when you read. So I want you to speak directly to our audience. When you read, you will discover so you can. Take it away, David.
Okay. Well, when you read my novels, you will discover how important humanity is and why we need to protect Earth's biosphere. And you'll do that in an adventurous, entertaining, Star Wars, Terminator-like fashion.
So you can.
What?
So you can. The readers, so you can.
So you can I don't understand what you
So you can means so it is so they can live a better life, so they can take action today, so they can understand
so we have to
better.
protect humanity and survive. We're not gonna make it. I truly believe that. We are not gonna technology is not gonna save us, okay? And so, I want all these readers to be, proactive. The main thing we can do is vote for people that are champions.
Vote for people who are tomboys. Okay.
Yeah,
There you go. So you can find ways to be the champoid within your community.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I got you, David. You're awesome. I got it. I got it. I am so looking forward to the film. Keep us posted on that. Folks, all of David's information, the book information, will be in the show notes. And until next time, I'll see you on the flip page of the next book.
Thank you.